some success as it struggles to deal with a lot of red ink.
Statistics agency Eurostat says the Eurozone's deficit fell to 2.6% of gross domestic product from 3% the year before. The region has been dealing with controlling government spending to bring deficits within the European Union's limit of 3%. The biggest deficits were seen in countries still emerging from financial crises such as Cyprus with 8.9%. Greece, which has been on a tough program of spending cuts, had a deficit of 3.6%.
Correspondent Jeremy House. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is urging Palestinians and Israelis to end the recent wave of deadly violence. Speaking alongside Palestinian President Abbas in Ramallah, Ban said he understands that Palestinians are angry and frustrated, but he emphasizes there should be no killings. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has two locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson, on this beautiful fall day, October 21st, 10 days before Halloween. Glad you're with us for Sports Scene interview show every Wednesday from noon to 1 right here on News Talk 1650 WHKT, tunein.com. Type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. Thank you to all the tune-in listeners as well, and all our great Twitter followers at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HROnlineMall.com. This is your home for talk radio. Tell your friends about 1650. Thank you to our military each and every day. Great guest lineup, highlighted by Mike Corey, who did a game for ESPN2 last night in college football. We get the elite guest right here each and every time and each and every week right here. Don't forget GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Shop with the marketplace sponsors on GJBTV.com as well as the homepage as well. Phone line presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Browse, shop, visit. Guest lineup presented by Fink's Car Care. Want to welcome Mi Hogar, Newport News Greek Festival, Spaghetti Eddies, and Fink's for the month of October. And, of course, the Redskins still struggling. What else is new? The Ravens struggling even worse. Major League Baseball postseason. The Mets and Royals are doing very, very well. College football drama on and off the field. Michigan loses to Michigan State in a fluke. Ohio State uniforms are probably the worst uniforms I've seen in college football the last several years. Yes, they're winning, but represent the school. You're scarlet and gray. I think you've got an identity crisis. And then my take on times of football games will be really interesting. Stay tuned for that as well. And, of course, all the scandal with going on at Louisville and USC with trying to find out who's going to replace Sarkisian as well for the future in the long term. It's all about the long term. Interim coaches are here to fill a gap, but long term is what it's all about. And don't forget PapaJohns.com, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. Create your own pizza at Papa John's on Twitter, Facebook. Papa Rewards, better ingredients, better pizza as well. Stay tuned. From ESPN, we'll have Mike Corey. This is Greg Bicouvaris, Sports Scene every Wednesday right here noon to 1. Kenny, of course, the Star Wars trailer just came out. And I want to thank Larry Bonko for the nice write-up. He mentioned yours truly and, of course, our show, Ken, right here. Of course, he knows the best shows on talk radio.
Right here. He mentioned all the important shows on this station.
Exactly. Of course, Kenny and I have worked for several news talk stations, and it's all about audio content. Nobody gives you better traffic and weather, folks, than Ken Johnson. Does more traffic and weather than even some of the news talk stations in New York does. So just listen right here to 1650. Heck, you know, Ken, you might give an update one day for somewhere else besides Hampton Roads. You never know.
Well, I can do Richmond and here pretty good. New York and Washington, D.C., I think I'd be at a loss.
And for $64.95, leave early in the morning no matter what you do. All right, stay tuned. We'll be back with Sports Scene live on 1650 after these messages.
The place for authentic Indian food is the India Palace. They feature authentic Indian cuisine, have a party hall, and do catering and banquets. Open daily for lunch and dinner, they showcase an excellent lunch buffet at their Chesapeake and Virginia Beach locations. Visit their two locations at 1437 Sam's Drive in Chesapeake off of Battlefield Boulevard and 5600 Virginia Beach Boulevard in Virginia Beach, and online at IndiaPalaceVB.com. On Facebook, look for India Palace Virginia Beach and India Palace Bar and Grill. Dine at the India Palace today.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th. Opa!
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
All right, welcome back right here to News Talk 1650 1212. Hope you are doing well. Greg Bicouvaris along with Ken Johnson. Don't forget sports highlights on nnpstv.com, an interview show since February of 1992. We'll talk about a busy schedule, folks. This gentleman just did the Arkansas State Louisiana Lafayette game last night. Arkansas State won 37-27 on ESPN2. He's called games on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPNU. Am I leaving anything out? Mike, have you done games on ESPN3 as well, my friend?
Yeah, probably. What about the Ocho? Whenever they develop that one, hopefully, right?
Yeah, you haven't missed a beat, my friend. And of course, regular right here on football and basketball season is Mike Corey. We've had him on several times before. I've worked with him as his stage manager, too. And let's start off with something near and dear to both of our hearts. I went to George Mason. Of course, you called Delaware for so many years before we talk about your game last night in college football in general. Is James Madison hosting College Game Day on ESPN. Of course, the one of the producers went there, of course, and that's a big deal because you know good and well the CAA is always trying to brand itself, and this is really a great showcase for them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's I know there's went to North Dakota State the last couple of years, and I try to go to one like FCS school every year, I think, and that's awesome. I mean, it's a real treat for them. I mean, they've really done a nice job there and boosting up the program and the facilities and the stadium, and they're undefeated this year, and I think it's great. I mean, it's the fans will really be excited about it. So I was kind of promoting that a few times last night on the air. So. Pretty neat to see, a team that I'm familiar with and a university and having game day go there.
Let's set the menu for last night, first of all. You have a showcase game. You're pretty much the only game on Tuesday night. And, of course, I think Arkansas State and that conference are very smart for doing a Tuesday night game. Sure, the fans might say, well, what about academics, athletics, activities? But you know what? Basketball, there's a lot more games during the week.
Yeah, no, there is, and for them, it's a great opportunity to get on TV, kind of showcase the school and everything, and it actually gives them a little bit of extra time because you're not going to play a Saturday game and then a Tuesday game. So basically, when they have a Tuesday game like that, they're actually off for an extra few days. I mean, it's kind of like a sort of a bye week in there, but I mean, it's like 11 days in between each game. So they 11 days and then 9 days, something like that. So they really get an opportunity to probably get a little extra time off, and showcase the school and the university and the team and national TV and Tuesday nights, and then they're used to it. They know how to rearrange the schedule and make the days like Monday is a Friday or whatever it is, and then Tuesday's your Saturday. So, but it was fun. It was a decent amount of people there last night. I mean, it was good weather, nice atmosphere, really good game. I think for a little bit there, and Louisiana Lafayette made a comeback, but. I think they're pretty cool, and then I think they're done with the Tuesdays, though, with this conference after this week coming up. But then you have the Wednesday MAC conference games, and everybody kind of gets an opportunity.
Right, talking to Mike Corey from ESPN, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us live on Sports Scene on News Talk 1650, of course. Don't forget TGIFs in Virginia Beach, NFL Sunday Ticket every game. A lot of great beverage specials. Veterans, on Veterans Day, you eat a free lunch. And, of course, great dinner late night as well. TGIFs, your place to eat in Hampton Roads. Mike, you talk about when you do basketball, you do sometimes several games a week, but football, sometimes you do a midweek game, and, of course, you got a game on Saturday as well on ESPN News. Is it a little bit easier during football season where it's just one game a week normally where you can focus on for your preparation as opposed to basketball when it's several games a week?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, if that's usually the case on Saturdays, we all kind of have like a little bit of a schedule. Mondays, certain things you do every week. On Mondays, coaches' calls, talk to the sports information directors each week, get your boards done. Then when we travel, usually on Fridays, we'll meet with the home team and their coaches and coordinators. So it's a pretty good schedule, and it does give you a decent amount of time to kind of get ready for it. And then, basketball season does makes it a little difficult because there's multiple games a week, and usually the other people that you're working with are all doing other games too, and it's like, all right, on to the next game. But certainly a little bit easier to prepare for basketball, and so that makes the life a little bit easier. But you're certainly kind of running around, and I think everybody does that though. The officials do it, the broadcasters do it, the producers do it, even you and everybody else trying to get as many games in as possible.
Of course, you were in the Great South last night. Where are you exactly now? How did you get around the travel plans?
Yeah, no, back home in the Delaware area, I'd say basically flew out of Memphis. Memphis was about an hour away from Jonesboro, Arkansas, where Arkansas State is. So you just go down to Memphis, and then I got a direct flight from Memphis to Philadelphia. And, Philly's been great. I'm not too far from the airport here, and, you get a lot of good flights, a lot of direct to wherever you need to go. And it was neat, though. It was a different part of the country, that's for sure. I've never been down there before. But, it wasn't too far, so an easy drive. And the hospitality was great. They took us out to dinner on Monday night, the people from Arkansas State, and they really rolled out the carpet for us. So I thought it was pretty good. I was really impressed.
It was almost like a bowl game. It really was, in a way. I mean, Tuesday night, you call bowl games for ESPN as well. That really was very, very neat.
Yeah, it was. I got to go down to the Heart of Dallas Bowl last year, the day after Christmas. And, when you have stuff like that, it really is fun because, everybody's on top of it. Everybody's getting involved, and you really feel like you're there for a big game. And, like you said, with basketball, it's kind of tough because you're kind of in, you're out.
Yep.
But with football, with it being once a week, or especially on a game like a day like last night, like a Tuesday, they really have a chance to kind of, give a little bit more attention and stuff, I think, to everybody that's coming in and make everybody feel special. So, that was nice.
Let's talk about some highlights in college football. And, of course, we'll mention some basketball stuff, too. I guess recently USC, Sarkisian had his issues, and they've moved on. It's kind of a shame. They've kind of still trying to find themselves. Pat Hayden played for USC, of course, but for Coach McKay. But let's talk about USC and your thoughts on them in the Pac-12.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. I mean, it's, I just think overall, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you want to dig deep on anybody
Sure.
or any program or anything, I don't know. I feel like you're probably going to find something, you know what I mean? But it is tough. The bigger programs like them and, around the country, they're going to get scrutinized more and things are going to happen. And, different things with coaches, too. I mean, you never know. You never know who's kind of driving the bus there. Sometimes a lot of different people have a say in it, whether they're donors or, what's happening. And, I don't know, somebody has it out for you. You never know. I mean, it's really, really difficult. And I think today with all the rules and regulations and the things that are going on and the pressure to kind of be up there at the top, it's not easy. I mean, I have a lot of respect for all these coaches and all these people, and, it's, I think everybody needs to kind of just step back a little bit and say, like, oh, what the heck are they doing? It's like, if you're in the same position or you're in a similar scenario, then you can talk, after you've gone through it and, you've made the choices you made, because I think it's very, very difficult. There's a lot of pressure and stuff, so I don't know. It's they're all tough situations.
And time is so important too. Just the the amount of time where the media scrutiny, the social media, the radio, the TV, the internet. I mean, they're constantly the TMZ lifestyle out there at USC, and sometimes you see that in the NBA and the NHL when they make coaching changes pretty quick. But the Dolphins already fired Philbin. USC got rid of Sarkisian, so there's always some type of stuff going on. It just shows you the sports are constantly in motion.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they really are. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, I mean, you don't get a lot of time sometimes, I mean, you see all these coaches and these great big contracts and all this stuff. It's like, well, you gotta kind of get that because, sometimes you're not going to be there for more than a year, 2 years or whatever, depending on what you do. But, yeah, then, I mean, it's difficult. It's big money. It's a lot of stuff going on. And I don't know. I mean, you're right. I think today with all the different social media and everything that's going on out there, it's a lot easier to, find something out a lot quicker or, get something on somebody or you said one thing and bang, it's all over the internet or whatever. I mean, that wasn't the case before. I mean, that just certainly wasn't the case before. I mean, and I don't want to say people were, bucking the system, I guess, and doing stuff that they shouldn't have, because they weren't being found out about or they weren't being caught. But I don't know. I just, today you really got to watch everything you do and say.
Talking to Mike Corey from ESPN. Reminder, folks, Christmas is about 2 months away. Don't forget to shop on Hampton Roads, onlinemall.com. Browse, shop, visit today. And, of course, sponsors are always a big part of it as well, trying to get all the elements in. But you talk about some of the games here in Virginia, like Virginia and Virginia Tech. Both teams have struggled this year in the ACC. I guess Virginia Tech's a little bit more of a surprise. Virginia's been struggling for several years under Coach London. But you've seen East Carolina play several times, and, they played Virginia Tech. They beat Virginia Tech. And, of course, it just seems like, sometimes it's hard to say, but it looks like Coach Beamer might be on his way out within a year or two. I know he can stay forever and ever. But whenever you have a new AD, Mike, it's always he wants his own guy.
Sure. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it when I was in Delaware with, Casey Keeler, who was there for a long period of time. That was his alma mater and won a championship and went to two more title games when he was there, and a new AD comes in, and that's it. You're right. They want to bring in some of their people and the guys they know, and and I remember they got rid of him, and he goes to Sam Houston State, and in his first year takes him to the Final Four. So I mean, it's just you never know. But I mean, it is. It's understandable, I guess. I mean, if you and I got a job and we were the AD, and we want to bring in our people and stuff too, but you also got to survey the situation and see what you got going on there, and kind of learn a little bit about the school before you just make, quick decisions. That's one thing, because, it may not be popular with people, but you also want to win, and you want to do what's best at the program and the school, and sometimes that always isn't just coming in and bringing in your buddies.
Yeah, I think you're Absolutely right, because you want to let things process, let things play out. The basketball coach at Virginia Tech, the prior one, did not get things done. That was one of his first firings he did. But, Beamer's been there, the head coach, since 87. He's an icon there. But the bottom line is he's just not winning. I mean, who would have thought, Mike, just several years ago, when Tech is playing Duke, that Duke would be the better team?
Yeah. No, I know. But you know what? I'll tell you what. I mean, Duke, because for the longest time, it was, it's always basketball. It's going to be basketball, Duke, North Carolina. But those teams are better. I mean, Duke football, North Carolina football. I mean, Duke is ranked right now, if I'm correct about that, I believe. I mean, in the top 25. It's like, what, all of a sudden the tide has turned a little bit. So now those don't look as bad, like in case if you lose to one of those teams. You know what I mean? And I think the stigma of what it used to be is not what it is now. So it's hard to kind of go, I can't believe we lost to Duke or North Carolina. It's like, they're actually good. They're very much better than they were. And then, like, here's a team like Temple, it was also in the top 25 for the first time in forever. I think since the late 70s. I did one of their games earlier this year, and then they've been nothing, for the longest time, and now here they are, and they're a good team. So Penn State, with that loss to Temple earlier in the year, it doesn't look all that bad now, to be honest with you. And, I know, they had a tough one last week as well, but still, those teams are closing the gap, and I like to see that. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, talking to Mike Corey from ESPN, Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us on News Talk 1650. Hello, all of the truckers out there on the interstate. Mike, you know that for doing radio for so many years, that the truckers are a big part. They love listening to the sports talk radio.
Absolutely, I know. I think it's great. We got we got the crazy sports talk radio out here in Philadelphia, right? That's in my area.
Of course,
it's big time. And of course, Philly fans, they're in a whole other world. But no, it's great. I'm glad that everybody, wherever they are, tuning in. Good to have you with us.
You mentioned Temple, and of course, you've called ECU a lot of ECU games over the years. They got a big showcase game tomorrow night on ESPN too.
Yeah, we do. Temple at ECU. I'm really looking forward to watching that one, actually. Yeah, it's on the Deuce tomorrow night down in ECU. I was just there last weekend, and they had a win, and they took care of Tulsa. But ECU is a very good team. That's going to be a close ball game. I think that's probably going to be Temple's toughest test to date. Excuse me, outside of maybe the Penn State game. Of course, they handled them there in the second half, but tune into that one tomorrow night. That's going to be good. Temple trying to stay undefeated, and ECU is having a really good year. They need to pick up that win, but that's going to be a solid one.
Mike, you look at some of the top teams: Ohio State, Baylor, TCU, Michigan State, and of course LSU is always up there as well. And tell the fans a little about something too. When you're doing basketball, you're right there by the court. Of course, we're right there. We can see pretty much the players. There's not many players in the roster. You can see the emotions. Football, you can't see that many emotions unless it's the coaches, because the players are wearing helmets. But when you see the challenge of Ohio State bringing out these, in my opinion, their uniforms are not even their uniforms. They're scarlet and gray. It's very difficult for announcers, especially play-by-play guys, to read the numbers on the jerseys. I was doing a high school football game here a few weeks ago, and yeah, the jerseys might look great to the kids, but to the alumni, the broadcasters, the fans, they can't even tell the numbers. So how are they going to identify them? It's very difficult unless you got binoculars.
I know. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. Everybody wants to put out these new uniforms and all this stuff. Whatever. I'm all for that. Do whatever you want to do. Make up some really cool uniforms. But the numbers have to be prevalent. I mean, you got to be able to see the number. You can't have silver numbers or yellow with barely any outline or whatever the heck it is. I mean, it's been bad. I mean, there's been some really bad ones. I think it's gotten better, to be honest with you. I haven't had as much of an issue this year as I think I have last year or the years past, where you're like, well, what are they wearing? And bad enough with the numbers, but there's double numbers, okay? So there's two number 6s, there's two number 13s, there's, and sometimes it's, okay, it's different. Like, one guy's a quarterback, a backup quarterback, and the other one's a defensive player. So, okay, we're probably thinking that, that's that guy. And we talk to the people ahead of time to find out. But you never know. In the heat of the moment, just run people out there, and you're like, oh, who's this? I mean, so double numbers, the bad jersey sometimes hard to see. And, like when you get up to the NFL someday, and obviously it's a goal of mine to hopefully do some NFL broadcasts, I mean, not only do the numbers are clear and bright and big and, just so much better than any other jersey, in any kind of college, to be honest with you. You know all the players. I mean, we're all NFL fans. We know them. We know it's Romo. We know it's,
sure.
Whoever. I mean, it's not hard to figure out, who's who, and then it just looks a lot cleaner out there on the field. But, In any event, it is difficult sometimes, depending on where you are, how high you're up, and what the heck the jerseys are looking like.
Mike, we'll get you on hold just for a minute during the news break and just come back and wrap it up here, but just get a couple thoughts here real quick before the news. Yeah, you mentioned the NFL is a lot cleaner. The Packers, of course, they experiment with some old-time jerseys. It's hard to read, but for the most part, they don't experiment too much. They really just don't. Look at the Raiders. The Colts have never changed the uniforms. They just don't, whether they're in Baltimore or Indianapolis. And by the way, folks, the Colts now played longer in Indianapolis than they have in Baltimore. Your thoughts real quick on the Louisville scandal. We'll get those thoughts in just a moment. I want to get Mike's thoughts on the Mets and the Royals. Looks like they're going to be headed to the World Series. You never know till it's over. Mike, please hold on for a couple minutes and we'll get right back to you and wrap it up after these messages, okay?
You got it.
All right, thank you so much. Ken, take it away.
Coming up on some news at the bottom of the hour, we at last report had nothing going on as far as any kind of incidents to report on the roadways. Things are doing pretty good. I get a lot of questions about what's going on 664. They move a lot of oversized loads. We've got the the Newport News shipyard there. We've also got Lieb here. They move some of those large components sometimes through the Montgomery-Mac Memorial Bridge Tunnel, and they have to stop traffic for safety reasons. That's what's going on occasionally. So if you get stopped for a little while, don't worry, it'll be going again shortly. Mostly sunny today, a high of 76. Clear tonight, a low of 56 degrees, and mostly sunny tomorrow with a high of 79 degrees. Sports Scene continues right after this short break on AM 1650.
In news, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. Vice President Biden says he is not running for president. Biden, his wife on one side, President Obama on the other, made the announcement just moments ago in the White House Rose Garden. Biden's decision bolsters Hillary Clinton's standing in the Democratic primary by sparing her a challenge from the popular vice president. House Speaker John Boehner says he is fairly confident the GOP's various factions will unite behind Congressman Paul Ryan as the next Speaker of the House, and Boehner is scheduled to vote among Republican members for next Wednesday. Should all go as planned, the full House would choose its new Speaker the following day. Slovenia asking Austria to open a second entry point for refugees in order to disperse the flow of people through the small Alpine nation. More details at srnnews.com.
What would an extra $250 a month mean to you? For some, it's a little financial breathing room. For others, it's a car payment, a home repair, or help with college tuition. Hi, I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans, and I've got some great news if you're looking to save money on your mortgage. All it takes is a simple phone call to Quicken Loans at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. Folks who refinance with HARP can save an average of $250 a month. That's $3,000 a year. Our home loan experts fully understand the HARP guidelines, and they'll walk you through our streamlined process. And for 5 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction. And for the second year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in mortgage servicing. Call 800-QUICKEN or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Corporate headlines generating volume.
Alex, baby, wait for me. And then I see you invited your old babe. And look at her. She looks like mess like you do. Her dress is as tacky as your suit.
That's right. That's definitely right.
I see why you guys were together. You make a real good couple.
All right, back live right here on News Talk 1650, your 10,000-watt voice of Hampton Roads. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. Coming up on 2 years here on 1650. Of course, my background on gjbtv.com with Ken Johnson up until 1 o'clock. Don't forget the Sports Philosophy Show starts November 4th from 1 to 2 after this show. Of course, talking to Mike Corey from ESPN, former voice of Delaware as well. Mike, I got to get your thoughts, too, real quick before we have a final few questions. Deladon, she was such a big presence at Delaware, of course, in the WNBA as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. You know, the time that she was at Delaware and all the fan support they had, almost 5,000 fans every single game coming to watch her play. And then they come back every year and do some preseason games. So it's really cool. I mean, I think what she's done, and for Delaware and the university. I mean, it certainly beats had she went to UConn or whatever, and just maybe potentially won another championship there or something for them. But I mean, everybody's pretty thankful about what she did, and they continue to cheer her on, which is pretty cool.
Talking to Mike Corey from ESPN, other games, of course, a lot of stuff going on. You talk about Clemson's got a great record, Florida State, Notre Dame. Florida's doing very well. Ohio State's got Rutgers coming up. So there's a lot going on. Michigan State, Indiana. Just so still, college football is still a work in progress. I think this is really when people start getting buttoned up and really looking forward to it as well. I want to get your thoughts, too, on the potential Louisville scandal. Coach Pitino, to me, is a real gentleman, but he's denying it. It just shows you that you really can only trust but so many people. You never know who's got an agenda, who's going to write a book or whatever.
I know. I mean, I'm looking at that. I've been reading some stuff about it, and it's just it's so difficult. I mean, it's
it's crazy.
I mean, it doesn't look good. To be honest with you, I mean, I can't imagine that there's not going to be some really bad things going down there. I don't know. I mean, I'm reading some articles. They're like, well, you should start packing up the stuff. And I'm like, well, we'll see. I mean, you never know. I mean, it's. I don't know. That's just unreal to hear that thing.
Yeah, the bottom line, too, Mike, is even if it's 10% true, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? That's the sad part. There's no gray area. There's no gray area.
Exactly. It wasn't, and they're saying that it's happened a lot, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like it's just, one little thing. But, that's tough.
On a brighter note, your thoughts. I know you like all sports. Looks like the Mets and Royals are on their way to the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, it's too bad. I mean, I really thought the Cubs would have, got to put up a little bit more of a fight there. They're on fire, and then all of a sudden it just comes to
flat
screeching halt. And how about for today too on Back to the Future Day? October 21st, 2015. If you remember the movie, it was great because they had the little thing up on the video screen there. It said Cubs win World Series, and I was like, oh wow. Like, this honestly could almost come true this year. I mean, they almost predicted like a ton of stuff, but they're down 3-0, so I don't know. They got a lot of work to do to try to make that prediction come true.
Yep, and of course, I'll go ahead and preview your game on Saturday with Houston and UCF.
Yeah, it's a battle of the unbeaten and the winless. So the Houston is just on fire. They're having a great year. They're ranked. UCF has really dealt with just a ton of injuries. Their quarterback, a bunch of other players. I'm about to actually talk to their sports information director in the next 2 hours here to get the lowdown before Saturday. But I don't know. I mean, it's definitely Houston. Is going to win the game. I can't imagine they wouldn't. That would just be a colossal upset. Really crash their season. But I mean, UCF. They got a little work to do. But when you have a lot of injuries and things happen, I mean, it's understandable how you fall short. I just can't believe they haven't gotten a win yet. But yeah, it's going to be Houston probably lighting some numbers up there. Their quarterback is unbelievable, not only through the air but on the ground. So might be a little one-sided. That's how it looks like on paper, but you never know. We'll see what happens.
Of course, that'll be on ESPN News. What time?
That's at 12 noon. We got a 12 noon game. It's actually going to be on ESPN News this Saturday. That'll be from Orlando, Houston at UCF.
That's ESPN News, folks. You can see it. And that's a good thing, too, Mike. You've done games on all the ESPN channels. You go to a Buffalo Wild Wings, they got all the games. Fans have no idea what ESPN it is. It's just on ESPN.
Exactly, right. I know. There's so many of them now. And it's the thing with ESPN3, which, I guess, and anybody that's doing the webcasting, internet, broadcasting, whatever, back in the day, it was almost kind of like, oh, yeah, we're only on the internet. Like, what do you mean we're only on the internet? Like, everybody can see that or hear that or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's actually more beneficial than being on TV or just the radio or just, I mean, to be honest with you, like, it has the potential for whoever wants to watch it, period. And I think now with the phone and the tablet and the computer, we went to a bar after the game, a restaurant after one of our games. I think it was at USF in South Florida. And we looked up at the TV, and they had the ESPN3 game routed into it.
Right.
I mean, that's online, but they routed it right into the TV, which, we all know we can do with anything we want now, too. Just grab an HDMI cable, whatever, or go from your phone, your tablet. So the game was on the internet, on ESPN3, but they put it right up on the big screen TV, and you got sound, you got everything, and it's just like you're watching it on TV. I mean, it really is. And I tell you, I think we all see this coming that, someday, and I don't think that far off, cable is going to be dead. It's just going to be all from the internet. Like, you're going to get your TV from the internet. Who knows if you're going to be paying for whatever channels you want or whatever that is like, and then all of a sudden everything's just going to be out there. So it's not going to be like, oh, that's on the internet only. It's like, no, that's how you get everything, because it's just like anything else that's wired. Think about it. You're like, oh, you're still using cable? It's like, I mean, I can't. I'm thinking a couple of years. To be honest with you. So. That's my prediction. And
a lot of colleges are starting their own relationships with ESPN3. To me, it's like the YouTube of the internet. Of course, Mike, thank you so much, my friend. We'll catch up with you again very near. And, of course, all the best in your game this Saturday on ESPN News.
Hey, Greg, thanks so much. Always good to talk to you. You have a great weekend, and look forward to catching up again soon.
Too. Very good. Always a pleasure, Mike. Thank you so much. All right, Mike Corey right there from ESPN. We'll take a short break, come back with highlights, and we'll talk with Bobby Klepper after these messages.
Mark your calendar for October 22nd through 24th as Saints Constantine and Helen Greek Orthodox Church in Newport News presents the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, an indoor event inside the Hellenic Center. Enjoy Greek food, desserts, beverages, arts and crafts, and much more. Located at 60 Traverse Road off exit 258B on Route 17 in Newport News. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. See you at the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd through 24th.
Opa! When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires, alignments, and showcase Win Automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads Online Mall.com.
I want to thank regular guest Mike Corey from ESPN for joining us on Sports Scene. We get the best guests right here. Don't forget gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube image on the homepage. Takes you to archive shows. Again, thank you to Larry Bonco for the mention in the Virginia Pilot. Acknowledge Ken and I show right here, Sports Scene. Shop on Marketplace sponsors. Save the date each Wednesday from 12 to 1 for Sports Scene. Business Spotlight Scenes coming up. Always fun. What teased me off? Sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Great guest as well. And Ken, I want to give my take real quick before we get to Bobby here. Is a lot of people ask me about TV games. Well, let me just say this about the human body and athletes. Athletes are primed to play at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or 4:25 on Sunday, not late at night. How would you feel if you started your job at 9 o'clock at night on a Sunday night, for God's sake? It's ridiculous. And of course, a lot of these Sunday and Monday night games, people are tired. You have no idea what they went through during the day. You can't compare it. Football is meant to be played at either 1 or 4:25. These night games, Ken, that these colleges have no TV at all, it's selfish just trying to benefit the school at night. Tailgating is best during the day. Football is best at 1 o'clock on Fox and 4:25 on Fox or on CBS.
Just even in high school, playing football in the evening.
Yeah, right. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, after spending the whole day studying, learning, doing this, going here, and then you go out and have to win a game. Yeah, I agree. It's a little ridiculous. It's like anything else. You're primed to do something at a certain time of day. After that, not so much.
Yeah, you phase out. The East Coast does not care about the West Coast. The West Coast doesn't care about the East Coast. Well, let's talk to former Virginia State police officer Bobby Klepper, of course, talk about a sports heroic thing he's doing. Give us an update, Bobby, and welcome, of course, to an area you're very familiar with.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Tell us about your background. You were very involved with the Virginia State Police Bomb Squad.
Yeah, I spent 34 years with the Virginia State Police, and a lot of that time was spent as a bomb technician.
Well, what do you got coming up here? Tell us, you've got something very interesting. Just set the table for us.
Okay, I'm going to ride my motorcycle cross country. It's not really straight cross country because we've got 12 stops that we'll make. The interesting thing, I guess, that everybody's kind of keying on is that I'll be wearing the bomb suit.
Wow. Now, what does that entail? What does that entail?
Well, I originally tried a full bomb suit, which weighs between 80 and 90 pounds. But it was just too cumbersome. I wasn't able to control the bike. should I get in some type of emergency situation. So one of the manufacturers, Med-Eng, took the panels out of it for me. It still weighs about 25 pounds, but it's like wearing 2 down jackets and 2 pair of down pants on the on the bike. So, but I'm doing this to raise awareness for the EOD Warrior Foundation.
Mm-hmm. Well, where does this start? Where does this stop? And how many total round trip miles? Are you going to be able to stay in a hotel, or what's the deal?
Yeah, we're still working out some of the details, but we'll actually start November 1st down at iFly in Virginia Beach,
right,
the beachfront.
Yep.
Yeah, and then from there we'll come down. They'll be doing a breakfast there, and then from there we'll do lunch at GSS Gear at Hilltop, one of the tactical shops there, and then from there we will ride up, and we're going to take the 460-295 route up to Richmond Harley-Davidson, and a lot of people will be joining along the way on that first day. But prior to that, this Saturday, Tidewater Tactical over on Pleasure House Road is doing a fundraiser from 11 to 4, and we'll be out there to kind of a pre-event.
Right. Well, we'll talk about the details. And is there any website or any information people can learn more about?
Yeah, you can go if you go on Facebook and go to Bomb Suit Ride 2015. A lot of the information will be on there, and there's also going to be daily blogs and updates that will keep track of me as I make my route across country.
I guess some of your former Virginia State police officers probably know about the Virginia part of it, I guess, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get quite a few looks from some of the local and state law enforcement in different states as I go through if they haven't heard about it.
Right. Well, go ahead and summarize it once again. When does it start? When does it end? And how many miles?
It'll start, actually, the start date is November 1st from Virginia Beach. And we'll go up to Richmond, from Richmond down to Knoxville, Knoxville to Nashville, Nashville down to Huntsville, Alabama, where I'll do a wreath-laying ceremony for the Civilian Bomb Tech Memorial. From there down to Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, where I'll do a wreath-laying ceremony at the EOD Memorial wall, where all those that have been killed, the EOD techs since World War II. From there to Shreveport, and they're going to put me in a vet-to-vet parade, annual parade they have. And then from there, we'll go over to Albuquerque. In Albuquerque, we'll be doing a Veterans Day. We'll be in Albuquerque on Veterans Day. So the Thunderbird Harley-Davidson there is going to do a big event for Veterans Day. And then from there to Scottsdale Harley-Davidson, and from there, we'll be out in San Diego, where we'll end up. And then what I've told the guys is I'm going to put the bike in the trailer, crawl on the back seat, go to sleep, and don't wake me up till we get home.
I don't blame you. Well, Bobby, good luck this fall. At least gas prices are low, too. So all the best to you and the staff for doing that. Great, quite an honor, and also great cause as well. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
All right, very good. All right, Kenny, let's right here. This is Sports Scene, folks, on News Talk 1650, tunein.com. Type in WHKT. I want to thank Mike Corey from ESPN, Bobby Klepper. That's quite a feat, Ken, to drive a motorcycle anywhere.
Yeah, I have trouble just walking, so yeah, if you can balance on 2 wheels, good on you.
I always wanted a mini bike. My parents said, no, you're not going to get a mini bike. But you know what? I might get a mini bike one of these days. But I'll ride that in the country somewhere. All right, big event coming up tomorrow, near and dear to so many people's hearts, is the Newport News Greek Festival Fall Edition, October 22nd to 24th. You've been hearing the commercial on this station, seen it on Channel 13 and many radio stations. For more, log on to newportnewsgreekfestival.org. Also proud to be on Hampton Roads Online Mall.com. Browse, shop, visit is laconic. And let's welcome Dino Pierrakos. How are you, my friend?
How are you doing, Greg? Thank you so much for having me.
Very good. And, of course, tomorrow's the big day. The Fall Festival starts from 4 to 9 right there on 60 Traverse Road. And you've got some of the best olive oil in the world.
That's right.
And I was going to ask you before you talk about the olive oil, does your family involved in any other products besides olive oil? Is that it?
Yes. We also produce Kalamata olives.
Right.
And as well as 100% pure extra virgin olive oil soap as well. that we make with our award-winning olive oil.
Are you going to bring any of that down to Newport News?
Yes, we definitely are. You'll definitely be able to taste our award-winning olive oil, including our infused oils with it, like the garlic olive oil, extremely popular, rosemary, Greek seasoning, and as well as the Kalamata olives as well.
Oh, you're going to bring the olives too, correct?
Of course.
Very good. And the soap as well?
I'm sorry?
The soap as well, you mentioned?
Yes,
okay,
that's right.
Very good. Of course, folks, it's a big event Thursday through Saturday. The fall edition, the spring edition is always the big indoor-outdoor event, but you don't have to worry about the weather, rain or shine. It's indoors in the Hellenic Center. Of course, that's been a big part of your family is to travel to these Greek festivals.
Yes. We travel to these Greek festivals. It's a great way to get our product in people's hands, have them taste one of the world's best olive oils. We received a gold medal this year on our production, and we're known as one of the world's best. So when you taste it, you'll definitely be able to see what you've been missing out. Very clean, very fruity, buttery as well. Very, very unique.
We'll talk about some of the different foods you can put the olive oil on besides salads. I guess the misnomer about olive oil is just salads, but of course you can put it on chicken, on fish. You can put it on anything.
Of course, yes. You use olive oil no different than the majority of the oils out there. The burning point of olive oil, because it's a misconception that you should not cook with olive oil due to the flash point. But that's all determined by the quality of the oil. The higher the quality, the higher the temperatures. So what that means is you're able to use our award-winning olive oil in your sautéing, cooking, even frying. A recent study just showed that frying vegetables in olive oil actually preserves the nutritional values better than boiling. So you can use it in every way, whether that's for cooking or marinating or just finishing your dishes off.
Right, such a fresh thing. Of course, talk about your website and your social media.
Definitely. You can find us at laconico.com. That is L as in Larry, ACONIKO, laconico.com, as well as our award-winning olive oils also carry that Taste Unlimited in your area, and they carry it under our brand as well as the Taste Unlimited brand as well. So you can find it near you once you've come out and tasted the amazing food, the Greek food at the event, and our olive oil.
And, of course, you'll be at the Newport News Greek Festival tomorrow from 4 to 9, Friday and Saturday from 11 to 10 inside the Hellenic Center. All the best, my friend. People can see your link on HamptonRoadsOnlineMall.com. Safe travels to Newport News. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
My pleasure. Okay, very good. Talking about olive oil. Ken, that's so yummy, yum. Olive oil.
Cooked pasta in it's the best way to not only keep it from sticking, but it gives it just that light kind of buttery flavor, and then that just enhances whatever else you put on it.
Ken, well, before we get to Brenda, let's go to the Star Wars trailer. Coming up in just a moment.
There we go.
Here it is, folks. Stay tuned. You can put Brenda on hold whenever you want.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
I was raised to do one thing, but I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it. The dark side. A Jedi. They're real.
calling to you. Just let it in.
Well,
if you're a fan, you have goosebumps.
Oh my goodness! Just the audio alone has got goosebumps. I mean, of course, you talk about the evil and the good side, the dark side, and you know when the guy was talking like to Darth Vader's head right there, basically he was saying he's not going to let him down. But let's don't forget, Darth Vader became good toward the end of Episode 6.
Yeah, so there's a lot of tease going on here. The ticket sales broke the computer system when they went on after the trailer was released. We've been getting a lot of calls from people wanting to buy tickets now. In fact, I was getting calls 3 or 4 months ago from people wanting to buy tickets then for the show in December. It's being predicted now to break all box office records, nationally, internationally. For any kind of movie of any kind. They're saying this is just going to set a whole new precedent. It's going to be a monster.
We'll be talking more about that. Great point, Kenny, prior to the holidays when it comes out in December. Speaking of holidays, it's 10 days before Halloween. A regular right here is Brenda Tusing from The Royal Chocolate, theroyalchocolate.com. Find her on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today?
It's, we've talked so many times, Brenda, the couple times ago it was still hot and humid. Now I think we're seeing the turn of it's Halloween, Thanksgiving's around the corner, and Christmas.
It's coming very, very quickly, yes. I am working on a calendar right now and just making sure all of our events are in place. We have an awful lot going on in Town Center. In our store on the 29th of this month, we have a chocolate tasting. It starts at 7 p.m. I think there are a few seats left for that.
Sure.
557-6925 if you want to catch up with that. But this weekend, we have the Filipino Festival going on Friday and Saturday. First-time event for Town Center, but it promises to be a lot of fun. And then Halloween.
Yeah. And of course, you're open daily, and of course, you cater to families, kids. Everybody loves their candy.
Everybody loves us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Give us your full address.
We're at 164 Central Park Avenue. We're in the Virginia Beach Town Center. We are open every day from 10 to 9, and Sunday we are open 12 to 5. And there is a big event on Halloween Day for the kids in Town Center as well. So that's happening, and then we head on into November, and just all kinds of things going on in November.
Right, and of course, it's great dessert to go with your Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, and actually, we started.
Why not?
We've had fondue in the store for many years since we opened, actually, and I just have to say this is going to be our 10th Christmas.
Right, and not to mention your apples too.
Oh yeah, and the apples. But our fondue can now be taken out of the store. We have a really nice to-go setup. So you can come in and order melted chocolate, and 4 things to dip in that, and take it home to the family and enjoy it, in your own home.
Right.
So we're pretty happy with how that's turning out, and things going on. The apples are excellent, and you know what the greatest thing is? Nobody likes to see it turn cold, but I have to tell you, now we can ship our chocolate again.
Yes.
So we've always delivered locally. Year-round we do that, but we ship only seasonally, and it's time again. So guess what? You can get your gift baskets, and you can get your apples and boxes of chocolate, and we can ship them all over the country for you. We like to think of ourselves as the chocolate easy button. Right,
or you're like Santa Claus year-round, because you can deliver, especially in the fourth quarter and the first quarter of the year.
Yeah, when it's cooler out, we don't, we certainly would never want to have somebody's gift show up on a doorstep and it's all melted. So we have to be really careful about when we can and cannot ship. But we've decided that after this week we'll be able to ship again. So things there's a good and bad to the cold weather.
And we'll
but
talk
the good is your chocolate's able to be shipped again.
Right, of course, and of course it's a lot of fun and families and kids and just great candy there.
Wonderful chocolate.
Right, and of course we'll talk
around the world.
Yes, yeah, and there's something really there for everyone. We'll talk again a couple times in November and December, and I appreciate your time always.
Sure,
Brenda.
Thank you, Greg. Thanks so much.
Very good. All right,
Bye.
Brenda from theroyalchocolate.com. Let's get to what teased me off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
I'll get to them really quick, and then Ken will just elaborate toward the end. Vague responses to questions. I mean, come on, elaborate, folks. Office managers, Ken, who are preoccupied by people asking for things on deadlines
that they're responsible for.
Right. Help me out here, Ken. I'm coughing here. People bussing dishes and serving drink refills or handing out food. Really, if you're bussing dishes, please wash your hands or just bust dishes. Ken, people at restaurant drive-thrus who give this answer: I don't know what that sandwich cost, or I'm new here. Wow, I thought I've heard it all. I heard that last week. Ken, boards or commissions who are run by cliques, you know those people.
Oh, yeah.
Even relatives sometimes.
Yeah.
Election flyers, whether they're in the door or in the mail, we don't want them, folks. We're probably not going to vote for you anyway. Town hall meetings on the radio.
Oh, Lord, breaking up in regular programming. I turn my phone off.
Ken, water faucets at these establishments that the water is dripping so low you barely even get the chance to wash your hands.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
And, of course, people that can't make up their minds.
That usually means they don't have a mind to make up.
Right. On that note, also, I want to thank Saffron Restaurant as well and all the great people, Mike Corey, Bobby Klepper, Brenda Tusing, Dino Pierrakos. For more, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. I'll be back next week. At Greg Bick on Twitter, gjbtv.com, Hampton Roads, onlinemall.com. For Ken Johnson, I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon.
Town Hall News is next, followed by Dennis Prager. And at 3 o'clock, it's Glenn Beck. Keep it right here on AM 1650 WHKT.